What's up, you guys? It's Jonathan Carter with another J Carter Movies, and today we are going to be talking about It Ends With Us. This movie is going to be very complicated to talk about, and this review is going to cover a lot of different topics, not even just about the movie, but with a lot of interworkings behind the scenes of this film. So the layout of this review is going to be a little different. I might not do the positive negative mix thing in order like that. I'm just going to kind of talk about everything. What I want to say right up front, there is a trigger warning for domestic violence in this video and also in this movie and in the book. So I'm going to be talking about that here, so trigger warning there. Also, before we get into all of this, please be sure to like and subscribe. That would really help me out a lot. And with that being said, let's get into this. What's important to know, this movie is advertised as a rom-com, date night kind of film. It is not that. I took my fiance to this movie thinking it'd be a fun, go to the movies kind of date. No, this film is a drama movie that deals with domestic violence, trauma. So it is a very, very heavy movie that is not marketed as that in any way, shape, or form. Also, just the movie itself, taking out everything happening behind the scenes, it's not great. The movie is well acted. There are great actors here, Blake Lively, but I do have many issues with this movie. So let's start with, I believe that it's important to talk about world issues in movies, music, books, everything like that. With an issue like domestic violence, it is very important, but it's also something that you should tread lightly with because it is very traumatic and it has and a lot of people have suffered from it and do suffer from it. I also believe that there is a line of how far it should be depicted. There is a way to show what domestic violence can do to somebody, how it affects somebody, but you don't have to go so incredibly far to show the worst of domestic violence and not have a conversation that is important and relevant with weight to it. This movie pushes that boundary. There's one particular scene, if you've seen the film, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's absolutely not necessary in any way, shape, or form. So once that particular scene in the movie happened, the rest of the film just did not sit right with me. And I found it to be pretty offensive. Now, getting into the behind the scenes of this movie, there seems to be two different things happening here with the press of the film and how it's being marketed. So like I said at the top of the video, it was marketed as a rom-com. I totally thought this was a new rom-com starring Blake Lively. The movie is not that. And what's happening right now in the real world is the director, Jason Baldoni, who also plays the abusive partner in this movie, he is trying to market this film for what it is. A drama with a woman who is in an abusive relationship, who has an abusive past, and she can't get out of that relationship. She doesn't feel safe. She doesn't see a way out. And importantly, he's not only talking about how this affects women and what women can do to get out of these situations, he's talking about what men need to do to be better people and why this issue affects so many men. What can we do about it?
First of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. I want men to go to the theater and in some way see a version of themselves.
What Blake Lively seems to be on board for with press of this movie is marketing this as her new rom-com that Ryan Reynolds also just so happened to help write these cutesy scenes, and she helped him write new scenes in Deadpool and Wolverine, and we have a really great relationship and we help each other on all of our movies.
So the iconic rooftop scene in this movie, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but you know. But he wrote it. He works on everything I do. I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine and mine are his.
So yes, not every single topic of a film or an interview needs to be heavy or about very important themes. But when you are marketing and starring in a film that has those topics, for you to just not talk about them and ignore that and pretend that the movie is something else is, one, very disappointing, but also not good for the audience that goes and sees this film. Because I have read that families, you know, moms or whoever, are taking their teenagers to go and see this movie thinking it's a rom-com, and then they get into this movie that is all about domestic violence and has very adult themes, and it's just, that is incredibly disappointing and incredibly upsetting. There is a lot of drama going on in this film. Even set aside from that, I was not pleased with the movie. I think it's very formulaic. I think it goes too far into what it depicts in domestic violence. And then all the drama behind the scenes, this just seems to be a real mess of a production. All that being said, I'm gonna give It Ends With Us a 7 out of 10. And on a see it, stream it, or skip it, skip it. There's no need to watch this movie. Maybe the book is good. I've heard good things about it. Check out the book, but let's just forget about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about It Ends With Us in the comments below if you've seen it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and as always, I'll see you all on the next one.